Hmm. Hey guys, Lucas Green here, back continuing on these rankings for Ben 10 today. Second up is the ranking of the Season 1 villains of Ben 10. So let's not waste any time and do this video. This shouldn't take too long, there's only a few. Yeah, I did miss one villain on my list, but I have a spot where I'm going to put him. I'm not going to say who it is, but I think I'm only missing one. So let's go this. Starting at the bottom spot for me is no surprise. This is actually so less of a known villain that you may have forgotten all about him. And that is Jonah. Jonah from the episode The Kraken. He is the poacher of that episode, and he's the villain trying to steal the eggs from the Kraken, so he can sell them, make money. Now you could say the Kraken is the villain, but she's only doing what she needs to do to protect her eggs, so she's not really a villain, more she's an obstacle. So technically the real villain is Jonah because he's trying to do something bad. As it stands out, he's obviously the weakest villain because compared to the other ones, he doesn't have the same scales as height. This is just an average environmental message villain just to squeeze out that message. So it's not the same as like fighting other films like Villarrex, Ghost Freak, etc. So it's not the same. I mean, I get what we're trying to do here, giving some human villains to face, but at least give us something more creative than a poacher. Anyway, moving on now. The next villain on the list is the Limex, which is the alien race that take up the old people. Even though I do on the episode, these aliens are obviously more effective than Jonah is, as they're able to shapeshift and mimic elderly people, the people they take, and then they can survive the heat and morph their bodies with stretchy proportions. So it's impressive what they can do, and it's a shame that we never get them to return in some shape or form, which is a shame. Moving on, we have Clancy. Clancy is the bug villain of Ben 10, who again he has weird motivations because like first he's like, oh, I'm upset you destroyed my home, and then it's like revenge because I want to destroy the humans for what they did to me. But yeah, it's very contradicting of what his character is. So he's basically a big mess. It's hard to establish where he stands. So Clancy's just a throwaway villain. I don't really have much to say about him. That's why he's low on my list. But I would put him above the Limax and Jonah as a more memorable character as he's in the -10. Next up is the drone, which is from the pilot episode. Now I was hesitant to put the drone on this list at all, but since Adam wanted to put the drone on his list, I'll put the drone on my list. This drone essentially is for the pilot. As a villain, it's basically just an obstacle type villain, where its only purpose is to destroy and retrieve the watch at all costs. But it does have iconic moments of sending out its mini drones, and of course that final beam's clash against Diamond Head at the end. So, but I would say the drone is more memorable than Clancy and the Limax and Jonah. So there we go. Moving on from that, we have Crab, who's one of the bounty hunters in the Hunted episode, who proves to be pretty effective as he's able to nullify Ghost Freak's abilities and give Ben a run for his money. I think this was like the first challenging opponent Ben came up across. So there's that for you. And he's the first one who establishes that the watch has a name, which is the Omnitrix. So he does have some weight to him, I guess. Not much weight, but some. Moving on, we have 6-6, who's probably the most, the best bounty hunter of Ben 10 on the bad guy side of things. Since the fact he speaks in an alien language, we can make up what the hell he's saying. So, which makes, in a twisted way, 6-6 kind of relatable. And we don't actually see his alien race until what's the movie called? The Secrets of the Omnitrix. Yeah. So I think he works better with Villarrex than against him. So because Villarrex is that kind of a backstabbing douche. But yeah, so is 6-6 as well. So they're perfect for each other. And of course the jetpack design. He's very similar to Boba Fett in a lot of regards. So 6-6 is just an iconic Ben 10 villain that, even though he doesn't say a lot in English, he says a lot in alien language, and that we can play fun with and make up what he's saying there. Moving on, we've got Megawatt, who essentially is a very powerful little child. It's like all that power in a child's body, and his only purpose is just to cause as much destruction and chaos as possible, just for the fun of it. So I think the fact that we understand his personality a bit more than 6-6 is, I think it's more, I put him a bit higher than Megawatt. But as it stands, he's just a barrel of laughs to have. Moving on, we have Hex, who is an interesting villain. It's nice to have magic and variety there. His debut episode wasn't the best, which is why he's pretty low on the list. but he's a very well established character, so he wants to common a book of spells to help boost his charm power so he can become invincible. But then again, he's stopped by Lucky Girl and Ben 10, and yeah, while he doesn't have much to do, it's nice to establish the character for future use, and his magical abilities do seem to show that he has quite a good knack of powers, even though he doesn't fully use those abilities. Moving on, we have Dr. Animo, who is the mad scientist of the series. As it stands, he does have a lot of creativity with his, same with Hex, as he has creativity with his magic, but I think Animo takes more opportunities with his creativity as he mutates different animals. His motivation is kind of petty and childish, but at the same time it is rather funny too, so he's a rather comical and fun villain to have on screen, which is why he's probably used a lot. Moving on, we have, where are we at now? Oh, we only have 2 more to go. Kevin 11 is at the number 2 spot, and of course there's no surprise there, as he proves to be a very powerful villain, able to absorb energy from different devices and organisms. As it's not just machines, he can also absorb like literally anything, including the Omnitrix itself. And we get like Heat Blast, and we get Forearms, and all these different like mutations fused together with Kevin's own genetics of his body. So we get some nice fun there, and then at the end he gets it's hinted at that he gets the full power of the Omnitrix, and we see that in the frame, so that's nice foreshadowing there. And it's nice to have Kevin 11 be like the anti-Ben, what if Ben went the wrong way kind of deal. So there is a lot of interesting stuff with Kevin there. Moving on, we have the big villain. Of course, it's no surprise to you that Villarrex is number 1. Obviously, for now anyway, he's like the main villain that's being being kind of like stalking down our heroes from day one, sending in drones, then sending in bounties and all this types of stuff to go after Ben, to get the Omnitrix. He doesn't know that the Omnitrix is on the child until his reveal in the finale in Secrets, which is where Max explains who Villarrex is. Well, no, he doesn't explain who Villarrex is in this episode, but we established that that Max is a plumber and he's had some dealings with Villarrex before, and he's been kind of like wary of this. And when it finally happens, like we finally get this big epic battle, like Ben's being captured, and he's trying to chop the watch off. Max comes in, rams through, points a big old blaster, shoots him, which causes like this weird malfunction on the watch at some point, and then the battle takes place on Mount Rushmore outside, and it crushes like all it down. And Ben's taking advantage of the glitch in the watch, so he switches between aliens, which has a bit of a fun dynamic there, until it leads off with one big explosion in Villarrex's ship. So it was a lot of fun ride to have there, which is why Villarrex, I feel like he gave us a great setup and a great payoff for his character, in which we'll see even more of him in the future. So yeah, no surprise that Villarrex is number 1 on Season 1 villain. Hey guys, back again. Just so you know, my phone died, so I just had to make it all wrap up here. But yeah, that's the list of the Ben 10 villains. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe with that good stuff, hit the notification bell right corner down below, so you can stay in tune for all topics that relate on this channel. Hopefully you guys appreciated what I've done, and I'll see you guys for one more Ben 10 ranking as I rank one-off characters, and that'll be it for today, because I've got to start work on the Limex series, Season 7, Episode 7. I'm not sure what title to give it yet, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But anyway, join us up for one more video recording session, and I'll see you for that. Next time, like always, guys, peace.